This is his DNA. It was his DNA. What DNA? Because there's different types of DNA. Blood. Okay? Where was the blood? On the victim. That's hard to dispute.
I didn't hurt her. I don't know who did.
And you're saying you don't know how your blood got on her.
Yes, sir, I'm saying that.
On September 23, 1991, investigators in St. Cloud, Florida, made a horrifying discovery. Julia Sue Wilbanks had been brutally stabbed 17 times, and detectives immediately suspected the attack was deeply personal. Investigators collected crucial blood evidence from the crime scene, but DNA technology at the time couldn't identify her killer. With no clear suspect, the case eventually went cold, leaving Julia's 8-year-old son to grow up without answers. For more than 3 decades, that evidence remained preserved, while the person responsible continued living freely. Then, in 2025, investigators reopened the case. Using modern DNA analysis and forensic genealogy, they developed a complete DNA profile from evidence collected back in 1991, and after 34 years, the DNA finally pointed detectives toward a man who had never been publicly linked to Julia's murder, Gene Stuller.
How you doing, Gene?
Not so good, I don't guess.
Okay. My name is Detective Dunn. Okay, this is Corporal Witter. Okay,
How you doing,
the
sir?
Criminal Investigations Unit with the St. Cloud Police Department. Okay. Okay, so I'm working an investigation from a while ago, and your name had came up in the investigation. Okay. All right. Before I really get into a whole lot of questions, though, I do have to read you your rights, okay? All right. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you before and during questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you at county expense before any questions if you wish. If you give up your right to remain silent and later wish to stop answering questions, no further questions will be asked. Do you understand these rights I've explained to you?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
How long have you been living in Florida?
Oh my God. 83 or 85.
Wow.
Okay.
And before that?
Illinois, Woodstock, Illinois.
You was in Woodstock, Illinois? Like in Woodstock, New York?
Like Woodstock, New York.
Okay.
Okay. But before Illinois, is that where you were born?
No, I was born in Ohio.
Born in Ohio? Okay. What part of Ohio were you?
Canton, Minerva.
Okay. And so 1983 and 85 is when you moved to Florida. How old would you say you were then?
Oh God, I'll be 73 this week, so.
Oh, how's your birthday?
What, 50 years?
50? Yeah. Okay.
Probably less than.
Yeah. What'd you do for work up in Illinois and Ohio?
I worked in a factory, Burns Coal Forge. I think it's closed down now. God, I can't remember. I worked in a factory. When I come down here, I started at Sheraton World and Sea World. I worked at Aramark. Then I went with Advent Health. Well, I went to Disney for a while, worked in their laundry.
Oh, laundry?
Yeah, maintenance mechanic.
Okay.
And then the last 20 years I spent at Advent Health. I'm sorry, I'm scared as hell.
No,
I completely get that.
And I'm worried they got me out of the car. My wife was there.
Yeah.
Diagnostic technician for industrial laundry equipment. I retired the 14th of December.
Of last year?
Of last year.
Congratulations. Okay, so you did laundry and worked mechanical work, okay. And you're living in Orlando right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Lockhart, Orlando.
Lockhart, okay. And you moved to Florida in 83 and 85-ish,
I
right around
believe
there.
so, yeah.
Where did you move, and where did you live when you moved to Florida?
I lived in Kissimmee a little bit with my parents. Then I went to Orlando. Then I come back to Kissimmee for a while. Then I went back to Orlando. And moved to an apartment off of 436, met my wife, and then we got rented a house, and now
Okay.
we're buying.
When did you meet your wife?
I got married in 2007, so I'd say 2006, sometime in there.
Okay. All right. Did you know your wife before you guys got married, or?
No, we lived in the same apartment complex,
Okay.
and I met her at a Christmas party. Somebody once tapping on the window.
Give me 1 second.
You better at a Christmas
We met-
party?
Yeah, I believe it was a Christmas party, and
Okay.
then they wouldn't tell me where she lived, and then she moved underneath of my apartment.
Oh, that's a cool story.
So
yeah,
we
that's
got
nice.
together and been together ever since.
Okay. Any relationships or marriages before her?
Yeah, back in Minerva, I was married for a year.
Okay. Okay. And any relationships or marriages when you first moved to Florida in '83? No, nothing. Okay. So you're single that whole time. Any girlfriends?
None to speak of. No.
Okay. Did you
Dates
ever get
here and
in
there.
any trouble with law enforcement at all here in Florida when you moved here?
Maybe traffic tickets.
Some traffic tickets? No arrests or anything like
No.
that? No? Okay. And you lived in Kissimmee. Do you remember the address you lived in Kissimmee?
I don't remember the address, but it was Fountainhead Apartments.
Fountainhead Apartments? Okay. Can you remember if in 1991 that you lived in Kissimmee?
God, I can't. I don't know when I moved to Orlando.
You said you moved to Orlando and came back a couple times.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with the area. Did you live in St. Cloud at all?
No.
No. Familiar with St. Cloud? Did you do any work in St. Cloud?
No.
No. Just
I
Kissimmee.
came to St. Cloud because Ford Insurance Company was there.
Okay.
And I had my trailer. I was getting the house insurance through them.
Okay. That's the only connection,
Yeah.
kind of St. Cloud. Okay. Well, in 1991, a female by the name of Julia Wilbanks, okay, she was found in St. Cloud, close here. She was deceased, okay. Does she look familiar at all to you? She is from Kissimmee, was in Kissimmee area.
No, sir.
No. You can take a closer look at it if you want. Yeah, you can look at it.
I don't believe that it's not somebody I ever dated or anything. No, I don't. Doesn't ring a
Okay.
bell.
Doesn't ring a bell at all. Okay. And she's from Kissimmee around the same time that you were, that you lived there as well. Okay. And she did some sex work and stuff like that. Did you, in that time frame, or did you have any relationships with any maybe prostitutes or sex workers at all?
No.
Nothing you did that. Any drugs or anything like that? No drug
I
history.
was going to NA back then.
Okay. What for?
And, sir?
Well, I'm sorry. Continue.
And drinking, and then 4 years ago, the 13th of next month, I'll have 4 years sober. I damn near lost my wife. I didn't realize how much she was drinking. She had an operation, quit drinking for 2 days, and went into DT's in the middle of the night. I got the ambulance there. And when she got out of the hospital and she had to go to nursing home for a while, we both joined AA. And
That's good.
it's where I was headed today, to the grocery store and to an AA meeting when I got picked up.
Okay.
Okay. What was you drink alcohol? What
Yeah.
was your drink of choice?
Budweiser and Crown Royal.
Royal. Okay.
So you never did any narcotics or anything?
No, unless maybe she went to NA or something.
Okay. Did you went to NA back then too?
Yeah. It was There was a treatment center off of OBT, and I want to say Oak Street was an AA clubhouse.
Okay, it's possible.
Trying to figure out how my name popped up.
Well, we'll let you know. And the detective has been working this case for a long time. Okay, things in law enforcement takes time. It's not like on TV.
Right.
You get an hour show. 20 minutes of that is commercials. Okay, as you know. So these cases do take a long time. And some of these cases are expensive. You know, especially when you're trying to get, you know what DNA is?
Yes.
Okay, that's very expensive. Very, very expensive. And so it's not like we call up and say, run this DNA. That's not how that works. We need to get permission all the way up. Probably definitely goes to the chief. Maybe even goes beyond him, because that's how expensive it is. Right, so these cases do take a long time, but your name did pop up in the investigation.
And it takes a while. This type of science behind it, it's extravagant.
Right.
It took a long time for things to be able to be developed, to be able to analyze things as well as they do now. Because in 1991, obviously technology is not like it is today. Smartphones and things like that, you can find out things like that. I'm sure that you're aware of that. And like Corporal's saying, it takes time for us to get the right DNA and to analyze it, okay? And like I'd mentioned, she was found deceased, and your name came up in the investigation, okay? And it was all connected through DNA, blood DNA.
And, you know, we're not here to lie to you. Okay? Our job here is to find out the truth, what happened. Because this lady here, I don't know her. The detective doesn't know her. But she has a family. And no matter what we do here, she's not going to come back. Okay? But at least we can give the family some peace of mind. I'm not sure how much peace of mind. It depends on who the person is. I've never been to a situation where a loved one of mine was found the way she was found. So I can't tell you, I can't tell them, I know how you feel. Because I don't know how you feel. Our job here is to find out what really happened, why it happened. That's important. The families want to know why. They already know what happened. For 30 years, they don't know why it happened.
Her son was 8 years old when this happened, and has grown up the rest of his life now knowing what happened to his mom, but not knowing why. Why did it happen? He grew up from 8 years, he's in his 40s now, with his own family, and he has no closure as to what happened to his mom. And that's what we're here trying to figure out. We want to know what happened to her. Can you tell us what happened to her?
No, sir, I can't.
So why would, like I said, I'm going to be honest with you. And I want you to be honest with us. Okay, there's only 3 of us in this room, okay? You can say you don't know what happened to her, right? But we know certain things that we know you were there. We wouldn't be talking to you if you weren't there. We can prove you were there. We can prove that scientifically you were there, right? So it's not like we just took your name out of a hat and said, okay, let's go talk to this guy. That's not how, because then we're just wasting our time. We know you were there. We can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt that you were there. So we just want to know what happened, why this happened. You know, you don't look like a bad person. We have interviewed some killers. You're not one of them. So we want to give you the opportunity of telling us why this happened, so we can tell the families.
I don't have any answers for you.
Gene, I don't believe that. Okay, we wouldn't be sitting here talking to you about this. I know there's a side of the story. Okay, I know you have a side of the story. Everybody has one. Like he's saying, there's a reason why we're here talking to you today. Okay, your blood was on her.
That cannot change. The percentage is 1.6 trillion to 1. There's not even a trillion people in the world. That we cannot get away from. That you can't get away from, right? So, I know it was a long time ago. Things happen, all right? But, like I said, we know you were there because your blood was there. And blood is better than the fingerprint. Much better than the fingerprint.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't know anything.
I can't imagine how this has weighed on you for 33 years. That pressure and always having that in the back of your mind, knowing what happened. And I know it can build up. And I know in 2015 it built up quite a bit. Okay? So I know you've been stressing out about this since it happened. It's not something that you can just forget. Okay? I know that. And I know that you've been wanting to try and talk to somebody about this. Okay? Now's your opportunity to finally let it out. Okay? And finally get it off.
I don't know what you want me to say. I know nothing about this.
Gene,
What?
I know that's not true.
So if you're saying you don't know nothing about this, how comes your blood was there?
I don't know. I don't know that it was. You're telling me it was, but if I wasn't there, how's my blood get there?
Good question. That will never change. Like I said before, we're not here to lie to you. Really not. Like, it doesn't benefit us one bit. Right? Myself and the detective here, we're not getting promoted off this case. That's not how this goes. All right? We're not becoming movie stars off this case. That's all TV. Okay? But the one thing that we know that will never ever change here is that your blood was on her. That can't change. Maybe you have a rational reason why it's there, and I'm willing to listen to that. But that doesn't change. We're not just the two that have been working on this case. A lot of people were looking on this case, even back then. When St. Cloud was nothing. Nobody knew what St. Cloud was. Right, so back since this lady was discovered until today, people have been working on this case. Maybe not daily. So we just happen to be the last two. And that's what this is. You have to explain, okay, you're saying that you weren't there, you don't know what happened. Okay, how did her blood get on her? How did your blood, not his, not mine, not siblings of yours, yours. Remember, 1.6 trillion to 1. And that's what you're going to have to answer to. So think about it. if you're on the other side, you're on my side and I'm over there, and you know that 1.6 trillion to 1, but done by DNA labs, that this is what they do, and the person is telling, and I'm telling you, I don't know anything, I wasn't anywhere. You can, you know, what would you think?
I don't know what to think. I do not know how this happened.
That's why we're here. We want to find out what happened.
I don't know.
Are you taking any kind of medications or anything like that?
Blood pressure, cholesterol.
Okay. Majority of Americans are taking that.
Still drive?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Driving this morning, headed to the store in an AA meeting.
Right. How often do you go to church?
AA is my church.
Gotcha.
They stress spirituality and a power greater than yourself.
That was my next question. Was it AA meeting at the church? Okay.
And I go between 8 and 11 meetings a week. My wife goes with me.
A week.
A week.
How many meetings a week?
From 8 to 11. Monday through Friday at Wakava Basics on Bear Lake Road. Monday night happy hour in Castleberry. 2-3 nights a week over to Winter Park off Maloma. Saturday night at Asbury Church in Winter Park is a beginners meeting. Saturday and Sunday at Living Sober in Apopka off of McGee. I think it's St. Stephen's Church, I'm not sure. But yeah,
Sounds
we
like
do
you're doing a
8
lot
to
too.
11 meetings a week.
That's good for you. Huh? I'm glad.
My life is, up until now, was more than I ever expected.
Do you think, have you felt that it's helped?
Me? Oh, definitely. It's helped my relationship. It's helped me. It's helped the way I look at things. I have daily readings, daily prayer and meditation I do. I have a sponsor. I call him on Wednesdays. I go out of my way. Tomorrow I'm supposed to take my parents from, where Broadmoor is in Kissimmee. It's a retirement village. I'm supposed to take them up to Hunter's Creek to a doctor's appointment because Dad's 93. He can't drive. Mom's 87. She doesn't like to drive.
Yeah.
She's been my mom longer than my real mom. My real mom died while I was in the service.
What branch were you in?
Army.
Thanks for your service. And I really mean that. Really, really mean that. So, you're saying you don't remember anything, or you don't know what we were talking about?
I'm from what you're telling me, but no, I don't know her. I know nothing about this.
This isn't just gonna go away.
Okay?
We're gonna have to, we're here, like I said before, to find out the truth, to hear your side of the story. Because there is, like, life is a coin. It's two sides. We just don't take one side of the coin, because that's not fair. We look at both sides of the coin. Right? So it may look like, oh, these two guys here, they're looking to hem me up. No, we're not. We don't have that power. We don't. Our job is to find out the truth, but the main thing is why this happened. Because there's a why for everything. Just like when you were drinking, there's a why you were drinking so heavily. There is. You may tell people, well, I don't know why I was drinking so, but
I know why.
Well, bingo. You know why you were drinking. There's a why for everything. The kid steals a cookie from the cookie jar.
As a little kid,
It's all good.
I was the guy that got picked on, and
You the youngest?
I was the only
The only.
until my mother died. And they say you can't quit for anybody but yourself.
True.
But the reason I decided to quit was I promised to take care of my wife, and I drank so much that I didn't know that she was drinking as much as she was. I didn't know she was sick. And that night when I woke up and her bowels had let go and she was throwing up, laying on her back, I got her turned over and sitting on a stool, and called the ambulance. And they took her in the hospital and found out she was going through DTs because she had quit on a Sunday to have an operation on Tuesday. Thursday night, in the middle of the night, she went into DTs. Why she went into DTs and I never did, I don't know.
Everybody's different. It's like you see people out there that never get fat, but they'll eat a cow. Everybody's different.
Since the last week in December, I've lost 25 pounds because the heart doctor said lose the weight or have another operation.
Wow. Yeah.
How'd you manage that?
Well, he put me on Wegovy, but
Okay.
I don't think that's what's doing it. I've cut out candy,
There you go.
cookies,
Mhm.
donuts. When I got sober, I figured out I love to eat. And pasta, white bread. I ate a lot of fruit. I had 2 tangerines in the car to take to the meeting with me today.
That's a good way of doing it.
Mm-hmm. Very good way. So, we're gonna have to figure out how your blood got on this lake.
Can I ask you, you have a scar. Can I ask what happened with this?
Here?
How you got the scar? It's on the other side, on your left side.
I was working at Ed Mental Health in the maintenance shop, and I was trying to bend a piece of angle, and somebody walked in. I turned to look at him. I missed it and hit myself in the head,
Oh,
and with about a 3-pound sledge.
oh.
And I walked up front, and my wife had come to the office to bring me my phone. And when I walked by the director's office, he said, "What happened?" I said, "My wife hit me."
Oh.
Hopefully, it didn't take you too serious.
No.
Okay, good. Good.
Did you end up needing stitches?
Yeah, I had stitches here, and then here I got a scar. I had cancer taken out of my face. And then the rest of the stitches from growing up and getting in fights.
Yeah.
How did you do in those fights?
Hmm?
How did you do in those fights?
Nobody wins. I know that nowadays.
That is true. Nobody wins. So how are we gonna get around to letting this lady's son know what happened?
I do not have an answer for that. I do not know, and that's not going to change.
You have no reason why, or you don't know why your blood would be on her.
So,
Okay.
Got a couple of pictures if you're willing to look at them, okay? This is Julia, okay? And this was her when we found her, okay? She's got a lot of blood on her, okay? And this is her. This is where she was. This is her right there. And we're not lying about the blood.
Mm-mm. She was stabbed 17 times. That's a lot. Usually they say cases like this is someone that knows her, because it's has a lot to do with feelings. Somebody wronged me, you know. If you see 1 or 2, maybe it could be a stranger. When you start seeing 17, 20, 30, it's usually the victim and the suspect. There's a connection somewhere. Whether their connection romantically, business-wise, but there is a connection, because That's personal. Personal. A guy who's going to do something is not going to wait around to do 17 stab wounds. He may get caught. He may get away with 1 or 2, and because his main thing is, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. We also know for a fact this possibly didn't happen over where she was found. It was somewhere else. Because there was, as you can see in the picture here, there is nothing there. Side of the road, like she was dumped. From my experience. Do you know where this is? This area?
No. Looks like a field.
Right across the street from the police department. The police department wasn't here. So you're right, open field. You know where Neptune Road is?
Vaguely, because I
Right.
lived in that area and I worked when I was working for Disney. I was laid off and I worked for Bronson's at the
Okay.
Orange Groves on Pleasant Hill, and they had a place in Hollow Paw. And I used to go from Pleasant Hill, I'd take their truck out to Hollow Paw. So I've seen that Neptune Road, yeah.
There was nothing on Neptune Road.
Mhm.
This police department wasn't here, which is kind of ironic. You get the police department investigating a crime that the police department wasn't there when the crime occurred. But that's Neptune Road. Because 1991, St. Cloud was totally different from what it is now. Now it takes you probably 50 minutes to go from one end to the next. So like we said, that's where all that blood, hers and yours. Nobody else.
Was it just an accident? Was it a mistake? Because you don't seem like you're the kind of person that's going around being a mass murderer.
Right.
Is there something built up that just
I don't
happened?
know the woman. I didn't do it. I don't know if you're trying to get me to
We're not getting you to
do
do
something.
anything.
I don't know her. I never met her.
Well,
Unless she happened to be at one of those NA meetings, I don't know the woman.
I don't know. Could be. I don't know. We're not trying to get you to say anything here. We just want the truth.
I
And
can't.
if you're telling us what you're telling us, we have a problem. We have a big problem.
I guess we have a problem because I don't know her. I don't know nothing about her. I don't know nothing about this. No, because I lived out by SeaWorld. What's that? Off of Orangewood Boulevard. I think it was Montpelier or something when I lived with my brother and them. So that was prior to me coming to Kissimmee, because I lived there when I first moved down here.
You lived in Orlando when you first moved down here, or Kissimmee?
Out by SeaWorld.
Out by SeaWorld.
Yeah. Well, there first, and then I went to my parents a little bit, and then I got my own place when I got a job.
Oh, either you, through when you were using, or it could be AA, could be anything.
Well, it wasn't when we was snorting our cocaine, because we lived in, like I said, out by SeaWorld. There's a bunch of allotments out there. It was like Montpelier, Green something.
Now,
It
so
was
that,
more
for
or less a
instance, now
retirement.
who was purchasing the narcotics? Was it you, your brother, or the other gentleman?
I think we all took turns.
Went to the same place?
Off of Raphael, yeah.
And after you purchased, where would you guys go?
Back to the house.
Whose house?
The one we rented. There was 3 of us, my brother, me, and another guy, Rick McAleese.
Did you guys
He's
party with
passed.
anybody else?
No.
Any friends you guys are partying with, or just the
Maybe
three?
a cousin or something would be over.
Right. Any girls coming over to party?
No.
Okay.
And you said you'd use on the weekends, and you'd get some, and it would last a week and to the weekends.
The weekend, yeah.
And so you moved from Orlando out of your brother's house, and then you live with your parents.
I believe I might have stayed there a little bit.
And then you get your own place.
Well, I think first I lived at Fountainhead with a couple other guys that were recovering people.
And you stopped cold turkey, no more.
I relapsed a couple times, but it was with alcohol.
Okay. So you moved from Orlando to Kissimmee, and you completely stopped using cocaine?
Yeah. That I wasn't liked. And I didn't like me because I wasn't a real nice person at the time.
Like, as in, like, girls didn't like you, or that you just weren't popular?
Weren't popular. If I drank, I was fun, and I'd buy drinks for people.
Yeah.
I know nowadays that isn't the definition of a friend. But
And when you weren't drinking or using, how were you then?
I was into my work heavily. Work defined me because I was good at what I did, and
So, what made you angry? You said something made you angry, right? And
I said fear turned inwards, or anger is fear turned inwards. I didn't like my life. Everything that happened. Okay, example. Thursday we was leaving to go to a meeting. My garage door broke, I couldn't get in. At one time I'd have been kicking and screaming. I said, let's go to the meeting, we'll deal with it when we come back. I got in a window in my house, called the garage door guy. He come, put new springs on it.
Oh, the spring broke.
Yeah, $379 later. And my response to that was, well, I'm not drinking. I had the money to pay for it.
Good point.
And it wasn't worth getting upset about. Little things would upset me, and I'd be like, God, why is this me?
And that takes a lot of time to develop that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. If you work the program, it'll work for you.
Yeah.
You can't just go to meetings and say, I'm sober.
How would you cope with that back when you were younger?
Trying people please.
People please. And then so you get this anger built up, and like you said, back in the day you'd be kicking and screaming. How would you manage that back in
Usually I'd get my ass beat by my parents.
Yeah. Had quite the temper?
I got it righteously.
Yeah.
My real mom was 5'3", weighed 105 pounds. Check it out, cuss a sailor. And it wasn't wait till your dad gets home.
No.
It constituted 2 beatings.
Right.
One from her and one when I got home from giving her dad got home from giving my mom a bad time.
Right. No, that's the way it should be. Yeah, that's the way it should be. Do you need to use the restroom or anything?
Not right at the moment.
Okay. If you do, just let us know.
All right.
All right. Like I said, the water is yours. All right. Well, getting back to this, you can't explain why your blood's on her. We can't explain why your blood is on her. And that's where the whole issue is going to lie. Because they're going to want to know, is there a reason? Because there's a reason for everything. But you're saying you don't remember this, anything, you never did this, you don't remember her.
I believe I would have remembered if I'd have done that. That's not something you're going to forget.
I don't think you forgot.
I don't think so either. This, I think, has been haunting you. Well, let me put it this way. I know it would haunt me. It would definitely, because for me, like the detective here said earlier, you don't look like a full-blown killer. What I think you look like is a person that made a mistake. big difference. Huge difference. We all make mistakes in life. Growing up, some are little, some are big. Right? And that's what I get from you. That's a vibe. I don't know you, but that's the vibe I get. This is a gentleman that made a mistake keeping this in for 30-something years. I give you all the props. I don't know if I could keep it in for 30-something years. I don't know. But I know for a fact you did. And that's to say something. And so, we got to figure this out.
You've battled that anger and fear the last 33 years from when this happened. Okay? And you've made amends in every other way and then corrected every other thing about your life. But we haven't made amends and fixed this. Okay? It's time that we can take care of this.
I don't have amends to make here. I don't know her. I didn't do it. I'm sorry. I got.
No, you don't have to be sorry to us, but the problem is the blood. The huge problem is. All right, we're going to take a break.
Is there any way I can call my wife and let her know what's going on?
Yeah.
We'll give you an opportunity to do that. Okay?
You got a phone with you?
The last policeman that brought me in.
If do you know your wife's phone number off the top of your mind? Okay, we can make sure we get that for you.
Okay.
What's her number?
847. No. 405 506 6380. 8630.
Will it be in
I'm
the
all
phone?
fucked up.
Will it be in the phone like a contact?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
407 506 8630.
All right. Let us know if you need to use the restroom or
I
anything.
probably got a pee.
Okay.
All right.
We'll help get that taken care of. So, your blood was on her. Okay, I want you to fully understand the gravity of that, right? Your blood was found on her while she was just like this. Okay? And it's taken 33 years for us to get to that point, to identify whose blood that was, and that it is yours, your blood. Okay? And up until this point, it's taken till right now for us to be able to charge somebody in this. Okay? And this case has been presented to a judge, and a judge has deemed that it's enough for an arrest. Okay? You understand that?
I hear you. Yes, sir.
Notice the order the detectives work in. For the first hour, they ask open questions and let Gene Stuller settle into one account. He didn't know her. He can't say why his name came up. They mention DNA early, but only as an idea. Not until now do they attach it to Julia herself. The account came first. The evidence came second. And from here, every answer he gives has to survive both.
You understand the gravity of that?
Yeah.
And like we've said, we're here to find out why and what happened. It's been 33 years. We have no idea what actually happened to her and what caused this. Okay, we know the reason and the cause of her death, but we don't know what happened beyond that.
Thank you. Come on, Gene. We need to know what happened.
I do not know. I don't know how my blood is there. I didn't know the woman.
You may not know her. That might be true. But there was some type of connection there enough for your blood to end up on her.
Mm-hmm.
Gene?
Sir?
I said, what happened, Gene?
I don't know anything, sir.
Did you help moving her?
I don't know anything about her.
Well, Gene, that's where the problem lies. Your blood.
I can show exactly where, on this photo, where your blood was located. It's right there on the right side of her shorts. Okay? We have those shorts with us. We've analyzed them, and it's been tested for the last 33 years. And it took us till right now to identify whose blood that is. And it's not just, it's a mixture of yours, hers, and yours separately on her, okay? It's taken us this long to identify that blood. And then we had your DNA and collected it and compared it, and it was a match. 1.6 trillion. Gene, there's an explanation there. Just by you talking to us for the last hour, we know you're not a bad guy. And we know you've had some anger problems. Everybody has anger problems, right? We know you've battled and struggled with that, and you've been working on that. Was this just something that you made the mistake, you couldn't control yourself?
I didn't do it. I didn't know her. I can't tell you what I don't know.
Then how you explain your blood on her?
I can't.
You see where the problem is?
I understand you keep telling me my blood's there. I don't know how.
All right. Nobody's going to believe you. They're going to say, well, there is only certain ways for your blood to get on her. There is contact somehow between you and her. That's the only way it gets there. I've been racking my brain to say, how could this gentleman's blood be on her? And it boils down to one thing all the time. There was contact between the both of them. What that contact is, you have to fill that in. I can't fill it in for you, because your blood just doesn't go out of you and get onto somebody. Right? Tells me you got hurt, you got injured, and you bled. That's the only way blood gets on somebody. The skin has to be cut. That's the only way. And that's where the whole issue that you're going to have. So you can say, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I was never there. They're going to go, okay. Well, with blood, and these are experts are going to testify. The medical examiner is going to testify to how blood gets from one person to the next person. And there's only one way to do that. There is contact somehow. Whether it's contact from place A or place B, there is contact. That's the only way. So that's what we're dealing with right now. And like the detective says, this has been presented to a judge. Judge signed an arrest warrant for you. So the judge is looking at the evidence, and he has everything. They're not talking to us. He's looking at the evidence also. And he's going, okay, how do we know this is this gentleman's blood? Unless you come up with a logical answer. That's why I asked you, did you help move her? Could be, that's how you get it. I'm trying to think.
I didn't have anything to do with anything.
Okay. Then who had?
Sir?
Then who had that? If you didn't have nothing to do with anything, then who had something to do with it?
I know nothing about it. I don't.
Okay. Nobody's going to believe you.
Okay.
Nobody's going to. A jury's not going to believe you.
Okay.
A jury's going to think he's saying, or through his attorney, he's going to say A, B, and C, and they're going to go, that's not plausible. It's not like she was wearing your shoes. She was wearing your sock. She may have stolen it. Okay? You may have thrown it out and she found it and put it on. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you?
I understand what you're saying. I've cleaned up a lot of shit in the last 4 years. I can't
I know,
clean up what I don't have anything to do with.
Okay.
And I can see it weighing on you. I can see it in your eyes. And it's weighed on you for the entire time since it's happened. And I know in 2015, you had struggled with it. And can you go through and explain kind of what happened back then?
What do you
So
mean
in
in
2015, at the
I
Seminole
struggled
County
with what?
Sheriff's Office, you were placing her a Baker Act.
Oh, yeah. My wife and I was arguing over her daughter. And I put my gun to my head and said, if it's gonna keep being like this, I don't care to be here. I set it back down, I left. I come back in to get the gun because I figured she'd do away with it. She did. I went to work. I went in the maintenance shop. I think it was a Sunday. They were closed. Don't ask me why, but you're not allowed to smoke in the building. I come outside to smoke. Sheriffs were there. She had found my car. She was in the parking lot too. They come and got me. They Baker acted me. Because I was upset over family life that her daughter always had to have her nose in it. And I was trying to explain to my wife how pissed off I was about it.
And I know some of the statements you made to those deputies.
Okay? I don't remember.
You said, I can't tell you what really happened, because if I did, I wouldn't be going home.
There had been many, many arguments over it, and she wouldn't listen. So I thought if I did something drastic, maybe she'd stop and listen.
Did she stop and listen?
Years later, after we got sober.
So right there and then, or shortly thereafter, that didn't change anything.
No, because I still drank. The wife drank.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing changed until almost 4 years ago when she damn near died.
Right. Well,
The
Don
daughter
can-
sent her a message that said she was doing her homework for her step work, and the daughter called. She said, I'm doing homework right now. Daughter texted her, said, let me know when you have time for me. For 2 frickin' years, the daughter hadn't gotten contact with her.
Mm.
And when she did, she said, you know, I have to go to counseling over this. And I said to Cindy, and well, she called. I said, that was something really cool to your mom. When you know what she's battling with, you got to be the victim on it. Last time she's even come around was her mom's birthday last November.
Where does that daughter live?
Is it Ocoee or Oviedo
Okay,
if you
she
go out
lives in-
436?
So she lives here in Florida.
Yeah,
I know you mentioned one lives in New Jersey.
yeah, that's the son.
Okay.
Well, it is, in disrepair, considerably.
So your work injury, where were you working when it happened?
In the maintenance shop, bending a piece of metal in a vise.
Which maintenance shop?
Director at the time,
Okay. How long did you work there?
20 years.
You worked there 20 years. So and you just retired in December. So 2004 is about when you got hired there and started working there?
2003, I think.
Okay. And then at some point in your tenure of working there, this injury on your forehead?
Yeah, there's a workman's comp claim on it, because I had to go get stitches.
Just here or on here too?
Here, this is from cancer taken out in last year, I believe. I got pictures of it on my phone. Because they cut it from here to here and cut the cancer out. They had to keep going deeper, and then they pinched it together and sewed it. I had pictures of that on my phone. But yeah, there's a workman's comp claim for that.
Okay. So before working there, you had no scarring?
No.
Okay. Any other scars or injuries you've suffered through the years?
Just operations. I had this hand redone, this hand redone, I've had my shoulder redone.
Because she fought back when this was happening. She tried to have this stopped. And that there's evidence to say that.
You keep going back to that, and I know nothing about
Gene.
this.
This is what we're here for.
Okay, you can Gene me all you want. I know nothing about it. My scars have nothing to do with it. This is documented, this is documented, this is documented, this is documented.
So how can we explain how your blood ended up on her?
I don't know.
Your blood got on her, and your answer is, I don't know. What do you think they're gonna think?
I don't have an answer to that either.
They're gonna think you're not being honest. That's what they're gonna think. Because like I said before, there's only a couple ways your blood gets on her. And the only one way I can come up with is that there was some kind of contact. Had to be. Because it's blood. My blood's not gonna get on you, your blood's not gonna get on me unless we have close contact. We can be probably 5 feet away from each other. My blood's not gonna get on you. And your blood's not gonna get on me. Now, if we're fighting and we are close contact, that's different. And by saying, I don't know, there's one thing you say, well, I don't remember. That's different. People forget. I forget stuff. You'd be surprised what I forget.
I believe I would remember if I had something to do with that.
Well, I would hope so. But that's what we call in the business up close contact. Up and close. 17 stab wounds. That's close. It's not like you shot her or somebody shot her 17 times. Yeah, you can do it from 25 yards if you're a good shot. Okay? And that's not close. Her blood is not going to get on you. And if you shot her maybe 3 feet, yeah, because you have blowback. Right? But a knife, you got to get up close. Have to get up close. That's why butchers, they're all full of blood. Because they got to get up close to cut that animal. So, saying, I don't know, people are going to wonder. The judge is going to wonder. It's not like somebody else's DNA was on her. Only yours. Yours in a mixture with hers. Like this. So there's contact. Her blood, your blood mixture, your blood by itself on her. But you still have that mixture. That's close contact.
I'm gonna have her call my sponsor, I'm gonna have her call my parents and make different arrangements for tomorrow. I guess I'm not going home. You said the judge says you can arrest me, so I imagine I'm not going home.
People are going to look at this and either picture you and create you as a monster or somebody that just made a mistake.
I don't know how I'm involved in this. I know you tell me there's blood there that's mine.
Yeah, because it's serious.
Yeah.
And we don't take it lightly. We don't. You didn't steal a bicycle. We don't care about that. You have the DNA stuff in there. Show so. You may not believe us.
I don't disdoubt you.
No, I don't take it personal, sir. Just showing it to you what we got. It's, like I said, I'm not here to lie to you or to con you or anything like that.
The DNA profile obtained from this sample is approximately 1.9 trillion times likely that it originated from Julia Wilbanks and Gene Stuller.
Remember, there's not even a trillion people in the world. A couple billion, but not trillions.
This DNA profile is approximately 1 in every 930 septillion individuals. There's never even been septillion amount of people on Earth.
So what that is telling you is, except for you, there's no one else in the world that blood could. So go ahead.
This is your chance.
I was just about to say that.
This is the opportunity right now to finally lay out everything. Because your blood ended up here. And like he has said, your blood's not going to fall from the sky. It's not going to come out of your mouth like saliva. Something happened to cause your blood to end up on her, right here. Her right there. Okay.
Come on, Gene, get it off your shoulder. You can't get around this.
I can't tell you what I don't know.
Are you susceptible to blackouts, not remembering things?
Not since I quit drinking 4 years ago.
Now, when you were drinking, right? Did you ever black out?
Towards the end of my drinking after I got married, yes.
Okay, explain one instance.
Well, I fell in the garage and didn't remember till I saw where I cracked my head on a shelf I had out of tile. And then I come in and fell and hit the metal trash can and dented it. Didn't realize it.
Yeah, but you remember those things afterwards, right? That you fell in the garage.
Yeah, I had to research it the next day because I had the gash in my head.
How you mean? How did you research it?
My wife come in and saw the blood on the thing, and
So she found you?
she found me on the kitchen floor, yeah.
Okay. But you had no recollection of anything that wasn't for your wife. You said you did the research.
Well, saw the blood on the tile, it was painted white, saw the dent in the can that she told me I put there.
Mm-hmm.
There was blood on the floor from where my head was bleeding.
So you said some lies. It had to be you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Makes sense. Is there any instances where, let's say, you got home, you woke up the next day, you don't remember how you got home, you don't remember where you were?
There's times I've come home and not remembered what I did the night before, yes, when I had been drinking heavily.
Any times where you would show up and have injuries that you can't even explain?
No, I knew where that come from.
Okay, what about before you met your wife? Been drinking with you and your brother, doing cocaine? Ever have any episodes, moments where the following day you're like, I don't know what happened, and you've got these injuries?
No, people usually tell me because I'd been drinking with friends or something.
Okay. Did you ever handle in with any prostitutes or anything like that?
No.
It was common in the area where you lived. And I know she would stay at the Budget Inn, and that's about 2 miles from where you used to live in Kissimmee. Ever have any relationships with any prostitutes?
Well, when I lived in Orlando, I used to go to the Mousetrap.
The Mousetrap.
Okay.
It was, yeah.
Do you have any relationships with any girls at the strip club?
I'd get laid.
Yeah, that's a relationship.
Okay.
Okay.
Would never venture out to anybody that may not be in a club and would offer services on the street.
No.
No. Did you ever do any work in McLaren Circle?
Did I do any work there?
Work? Any partying?
No.
Did you ever get drugs from McLaren Circle?
I believe I did once and got picked up by the police.
Okay. Do you remember when?
So you were in charge then?
No.
Okay.
What did you pick up? Like drug wise? What was it they tried to get?
Cocaine, I believe.
Okay. Okay. So there's some connections between her and you now. She's familiar with McLaren Circle. She was in McLaren Circle too. She did cocaine as well. Could something have came up between that? Could you have tried to buy something from her? Could you have used her services?
No, the person I bought from was a black guy.
Do you remember his name?
No.
Don't remember his name.
No, I was scared to death to go in there.
How many times you bought from that guy?
The night I got caught,
Just that one time?
Yeah.
What did you buy?
cocaine, yes, and then nothing happened. I picked him up, he got in the car, I come back, and he told me to take him back.
Okay. That's the only time?
Think of a nickname that he went by or a street name or anything like that? No. Do you remember which agency police department it was?
Probably Osceola County Sheriff.
Sheriff's office.
Now, back in those days, did you ever try to, say, supplement your income by selling a little bit on the side?
No.
You were just using? And who again were you using with?
Myself.
You're all by yourself? Your brother wasn't there?
No, because we had moved from where we all lived together.
You're saying you don't remember. I can't force you to remember. If I could do that, I'd be a billionaire. I wouldn't be in this room. So, but out of three of us here, only you know. That's the only one. You're the only one that knows. The only thing that we know is that we can put you there. And that's all off DNA. DNA is a wonderful thing. No matter what people say, I wasn't there, I don't know what you're talking about, all this kind of stuff. If I can put his DNA or her DNA there, nobody cares what they think. Your DNA is there. Your DNA doesn't walk around. I can capture somebody in a video camera. There may be somebody that looks like him. Could be his twin. And he's saying, that's not me. And maybe it's not him, maybe somebody that looks like him, depends on how clear the video is. But they say, oh, no, we got his DNA. We got his blood DNA. There's different kinds of DNA. That's a hard one to get around. Make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know.
And we've had this blood sample since this happened. All it took was just technology to catch back up to us.
Yeah.
Because we had this evidence, it has been waiting around for 33 years to be identified.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, until just now, saying 33 years, and since this year, some months to be able to identify it and get it tested and get us in the direction of you. And then we start looking into you. Okay, this guy's got no history, nothing, right? A couple DUIs, a drug charge, that's it. And then we do some surveillance on you, and we collect a sample of your DNA. Then we get it tested by the same lab that's tested these shorts and the blood that happened from this incident, and it's a match.
Yeah, it is a partial match.
You said what?
And they didn't say it was a partial match. The amount of match they're talking about, not that many humans ever born.
You heard the numbers.
Yeah.
Like, something happened between the two of you that resulted in your blood ending up on her. And the only person that's going to be able to give us what happened is you.
I can't give it to you.
Okay. Okay. Evidence doesn't lie.
Witnesses do. People will lie in court. People will lie to us constantly. All right? DNA doesn't lie. It's better than the fingerprint. You see, I'm pretty sure you watch all these shows on TV. Linked by DNA. Or even sometimes exonerated by DNA. Because back in these days here, DNA wasn't a thing. All they could tell you is, yep, that's human blood, or they may be able to tell you whether it's a male or a female. That's it. That's all they told you. Couldn't tell you what race. Nowadays, and back in those days, you needed a big sample, because I've been doing this a long time. I've been around in those days. I was around. You had to get a huge sample. Now you get DNA right now, top of a pin. That's all I need. Because they can expand it and make it bigger. Like in those days, there was nothing like that. So, as the detective says, science is catching up. You know? You have things, I don't know if you heard of it, AI. I can show you a picture of somebody and ask you real or fake. And you have no clue what it is. I did a test at one time, I thought it was real. It was a fake. That's how technology has, I mean, they're putting people in up to the International Space Center. They're not flying those rockets. They'll tell you I'm an astronaut. They're no astronaut. They're not flying. The computers are doing all that. GPS. Back in the day, you had to what? MapQuest, right? Print it out. And your wife would have to read it to you and you drive. Now you got it right on your phone. That's how technology has increased. And just like in this case, the same thing. Technology caught up. We just happened to be around when it caught up on this case. And it's going to be hard to say that the DNA is not yours, because it's been tested.
It's been compared.
And not only tested, compared. It was tested, came back to you, then it was compared. Another sample, compared, is him. Same, didn't say anybody else. Didn't say a brother, didn't say a sister, a mother, a family member. Didn't say that. Right to you.
Your saliva, specifically, is what matched us to this blood.
I understand you say you don't know anything. I get that. That's why I asked you about the blackouts. Could this have happened and you just don't remember it happening?
I doubt it.
That's a question. Remember, you were a heavy drinker back then. You know? And I'm just trying to see what else can I say. Like I said, you don't look like a cold-blooded killer to me. Don't. There gotta be a reason why. Has to be a reason why. Your blood is there. You know, it's not like this happened in your house. Okay, now you can explain why your blood's there. Or you guys are having a relationship and then your blood is there, and then your blood is there. So, I'm not sure what else to tell you. You have anything to ask us?
Can I call my wife?
Yeah, we'll let you get it.
We will let you give her a call. I promise you, I give you my word, you will be able to call her. I can't tell you exactly when though, okay?
I'd love to get some kind of information to her, to let her know where I'm at and what's going on.
Yeah.
We'll
And I gotta make arrangements to get my parents tomorrow to the doctor they will go to.
Where does your parents live?
Poinciana, well, actually Broadmoor.
Where is that? I don't know where that is.
It's a retirement village off of Poinciana. You know where McLean's is?
Yeah.
It's down past their first road to the,
Oh, okay.
there's a retirement village back in there.
This one's gonna be tough on them. It's gonna be very, very tough. Well, I need to get some water. I'm back.
What kind of vehicles did you like to drive?
What kind of what?
What kind of vehicles did you own? So you moved to Florida, you drive trucks.
Well, I had a motorcycle when I come down and I bought a old beat up Buick Opal because I was working at Dixie Linen. I think it's called Aramark now. And every day I'd go home heading back to Kissimmee from frickin' rain on the motorcycle.
Yeah, it does rain down here quite often, probably a lot more than Illinois and Ohio.
I had a Nissan Sentra that's been lately. A couple of years ago, wife had a Rogue. I got totaled. We just bought that Kicks. Nissan Altima when the Rogue got canceled. I had a Dodge Ram, 2005 Dodge Ram. Sold that when gas went up.
You're pretty with it. For your age, you're pretty with it. I'm impressed. Because I've talked to a lot of people throughout this job, and you know, when the older you get, right?
I'm going through that with my wife. That's why I'm worried about her.
Yeah.
She's got dementia.
Does she?
Or she doesn't remember a lot.
Yeah. You think it's
And-
starting?
Oh yeah, we know it is.
Yeah.
So I take care of her pills and get her to doctor's appointments and stuff. I manage her medical for her.
That's what every husband should do. I've seen the emotions throughout this whole time by talking to us.
You
Okay?
what?
Your emotions. I've seen it.
Gene, Sergeant Backer. I've been kind of listening in on the interview. And I just have some questions that I need answered for myself, okay? Because I've read the reports, I've read the genealogy. I kind of understand the science behind it. What I cannot understand, and what you have not been able to explain, is how your blood is on this woman's shorts. This woman who was found stabbed to death right outside of this building back in 1991. And that's why I'm in here, because I need to figure out how that's possible.
I don't have an answer. I keep saying I don't have an answer.
So we can agree that you lived in Kissimmee in 1991, right?
Yeah, I'm walking through
Probably, yeah.
And I know for a fact that this woman lived in Kissimmee in 1991. You mentioned you had a cocaine problem back then.
Yeah.
This woman had a cocaine problem back then. You mentioned that you'd had some interactions with sex workers back then.
No.
Well, you
believe I
said you
said
got laid in a sex club.
Oh, Mousetrap up in Orlando. I
Okay.
dated some of the people that worked there. Well,
Well,
I went out with them.
you could technically call them
Okay.
sex workers then if they
All right.
provided you
Dancers.
services for money.
Okay.
This woman was a sex worker. I don't know that she worked there. She more, as far as I know, worked the streets. But she also frequented areas like McLaren Circle, which you said you frequented.
No, I said I went once
Okay.
because I got stopped on the way out.
You went there with the intent to buy cocaine,
Yes, sir.
and she also used cocaine. You said you had an alcohol problem, right? That caused you to have blackouts?
I have blacked out drinking, yes.
And the fact that you cannot explain how your blood ended up on this woman's shorts, you don't think that could be because of your drug and alcohol use? That maybe you had some sort of blackout? Maybe you were with this woman one night?
When I blacked out, I was mostly at home and lived in Orlando, where I live now. There was a 10-year period where I didn't go to meetings, but I was sober because of my wife. Because her first husband was an alcoholic.
Okay, but in 1991 you were not sober.
No, off and on.
In 1991 you were using drugs and alcohol at the same time.
I would imagine then, yes.
You would imagine?
Yeah, I drank, and I because I was going to NA and AA.
Is there a lot from that time period that you can't remember?
No, I can probably tell you where I worked and what I drove, and
But how about when you weren't at work and when you weren't driving, when you were out enjoying your weekend off or your nights, having some drinks, having some cocaine?
I very seldom drank out. It's too expensive to drink out. I drank at home. That's where we were drinking before we got sober, my wife and I, at home.
But you admit that you did drink and you used cocaine and you weren't always working.
Yeah,
So on those nights and weekends where you were not at work and you were drinking and you were using cocaine, how was your memory then? Can you remember every one of those nights? Can you remember the finite
probably
details?
not, no.
So is it possible that you met up with this other cocaine user? Maybe you guys hung out together. Maybe it was just an acquaintance. Maybe she tried to sell you drugs. Maybe she tried to steal your drugs. And maybe something happened. Maybe there was an argument. Maybe there was a fight. Maybe she stabbed you first. But there's got to be a reason. There's got to be an explanation for how your blood ended up on her shorts.
I don't have a clue. The girl does not ring a bell. I'm sure I would remember that crap.
I would hope you'd remember it just because of how intense the situation probably played out. But this right here is your one opportunity to give your side of the story on how it played out and why it played out. But if you can't remember it, then it's going to have to go with how our report reads, which is that this lady was stabbed 17 times and then dumped on the side of a highway. And your blood and her blood are in a combined mixture on her shorts. The shorts she was wearing when she was stabbed 17 times and dumped on the side of a highway.
I don't have a side of the story.
Okay. Just wanted to give you an opportunity, if you had a side, to air it out.
I don't have a side of the story.
Because that, like I said, that's the story that we put forward to the judge. That's the story that the judge signed an arrest warrant on. That's the story that your parents are going to hear, that your wife is going to hear.
It's the story I'm going to tell them if I have the opportunity
Which is what?
to make a phone call. Let my wife know what's going on. He told me I would get to do that.
Oh, okay. I understand. So that's the story you're going to tell them, that your blood ended up on a murder victim's shorts. A murder victim who was stabbed 17 times and dumped on the side of the highway. And you can't provide any explanation of why.
That's what I will tell my wife, yes.
Okay.
It's the only story I have.
You know, there's a possibility that you'll spend the rest of your life in prison.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm figuring right now.
You seem very calm for a person who's being accused of a violent murder. Like, not shocked.
I don't know what to do. I'm scared as hell. I don't know. My insides are like this.
I
I
hear
do
you.
not know what to do.
I hear you're saying that, but that's not the reaction that I'm seeing. Your body language isn't showing that. Your body language is
How am I
speaking with
supposed
someone.
to be acting?
Well, I've seen people who are accused of things they didn't do, and it's a different reaction. Not all of them have the same reaction, but it's very different from the reaction that you're having now. The reaction that you're having now is one of content. Like, it finally caught up with you, and you've just given up, and you have nothing to say. Not surprised, not angry, not confused, just content.
No, I'm not content. I'm scared as hell, and I'm worried for my wife. You're telling me that I'm there. I'm telling you I wasn't. I don't know what to do. What good is it going to do me to kick and scream and cuss and carry on? I've learned to be a little better than that.
It won't do you any good, but that is the most common reaction for someone accused of something this violent, when they know that they're innocent of it.
In my head, what I've learned to believe is this will work out the way God wants it to work out. That's the spirituality that I've learned through the AA program. Things take care of themselves. It doesn't do me any good to kick and scream. I'm about in frickin' tears because I don't know how this happened. We were on our way to the grocery store in a meeting this morning when I got pulled over, and I freaked when I saw how many people were there. And had no idea where I'm going.
You didn't say a word on the entire drive here.
You know? Well, when I first got in the car, I asked the first sheriff what was going on, and he said that a detective would talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me about country music and I think what I did where I worked. I told him when I retired, and I was very uncomfortable with the handcuffs and that. And in the last trip here, you guys' cruiser is very tight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to get catty-cornered so that they didn't hurt, but I'm just scared. I didn't know what to say.
And for someone who would have no idea of what's going on, that's typically not the reaction when they get stopped by the police, put in handcuffs, and then driven somewhere.
Okay, why would I think that these guys would be any different than the first one that told me I would find out when I got there a detective would talk to me?
Okay.
I didn't figure that these guys would be any different.
Even if that's the case, though, once you get here and the detectives lay out a homicide in front of you, lay out a warrant that shows that you're the one being charged with that homicide, lay out DNA evidence that says you were there when she was killed, and your reaction is just contentness. No shock, no awe, no disgust, no anger. All the human emotions that would go with a false allegation weren't there.
I guess I figure this has got to be a mistake. I don't know. I don't know how you want me to act. I don't know anything about this. I was shocked when you said, "Do you eat at Keller's?"
I saw your reaction, yeah.
I was like, wow. Because, yeah, we do a couple times a week go to Keller's.
Well, the one thing I can assure you is it's not a mistake. It's been double checked and triple checked.
Is it just too difficult to say out loud? Would it be easier to talk about it if I gave you a piece of paper to write what happened?
No, because I don't know what happened. I didn't know this woman.
You didn't have to know her. You just had to have contact with her. Because that's the only way that someone's blood gets on another person. I'm not saying you had a relationship with this woman. I'm not saying she was your friend. For all I know, she walked up to you on the street and tried to rob you one night. I don't know. I'm hoping you'll tell me. I'm hoping you're here to fill in the blanks. It's fine. We're gonna go finish up our paperwork. You're gonna end up going to the jail. You'll have a chance to make some phone calls. Call your wife.
Can I please call my wife from here to let her know? What time is it? Do you have any idea?
It is 2:15.
Hello.
Hi.
Do you have a question?
I have to pee real bad.
You gotta use the restroom? Okay. Is it possible I can have you take him?
Yeah, let me grab some gloves.
Perfect. Hang tight just a second, okay? When you return, we're gonna be reading you a search warrant, okay?
What?
I'm gonna be reading you a search warrant for your DNA, okay?
Okay.
I'll let you use the restroom first.
Yeah,
That would be
I'll
good.
explain the process. It's very simple. It's technically like a little Q-tip that we're gonna use to get your saliva.
Are you a little hungry? No. You've not eaten since last night, though, no? You should probably eat something, don't you think?
Stomach's too messed up to try and eat.
We have coffee. Would you like a coffee? No.
I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning cold, and that's it.
Or your left answer?
All right, like I explained to you, Mr. Stuller, right? We do have a search warrant for your DNA, so I'm gonna go ahead and read that to you, okay? In the Ninth Judicial Circuit Court and in for Osceola, Florida, in the name of the state of Florida, to all and singular, the sheriffs of the state of Florida, agents of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and/or any investigators of the state attorney's office, and/or any member of the St. Cloud Police Department. Before me, Eric Dubois, circuit judge in and for Osceola County, Florida, and received a sworn affidavit from Detective Devin Dunn, who first duly being sworn deposes and says that affiant has reason to believe that certain laws have been and are being violated and on certain premises and curtilage thereof in Osceola County, Florida, described as follows. Address, directions, and description is going to be the St. Cloud Police Department located at 4700 Neptune Road, St. Cloud, Osceola County, Florida, 34769. The premises are currently under the control of Chief Gerke and is now being kept in and on premises and curtilage, Gene Stuller in control of. Your affiant hereby requests the court's permission to obtain a DNA standard from Gene A. Stuller via buccal swab and obtain Stuller's fingerprints for the continuation of the investigation. In violation of Florida State Statute 784.04 subsection 2, second degree murder, and Florida State Statute 406.12 3B, disturbing a dead body or clothing article nearby. And whereas, a copy of which is incorporated and herein attached hereto, the fact establishing the grounds for the application being set forth in the affidavit of Detective Devin Dunn of the St. Cloud Police Department. Now therefore, you or either of you which such lawful assistance as may be necessary, and with a reasonable amount of force, as is necessary, hereby command in the daytime, nighttime, or on Sunday, as the exigencies of the situation may require, to detain or obtain from the aforesaid person photographs as described in this warrant, and if the same or any part thereof be found, you be hereby authorized to seize and secure same, giving proper receipt therefore, and delivering a completed copy of this warrant to Gene A. Stuller, date of birth 04/23/1952, and making a return of your doings under this warrant within 10 days of the date thereof. And you are further directed to bring said property so found, and also the bodies of the person or persons in possession thereof, before the court having jurisdiction of this offense to be disposed of according to the law. Signed, Eric Dubois, on April 18th, 2025.
Okay, so basically what this process is, it is a buccal swab. Buccal swab is a Q-tip, you'll see it. And what we're gonna do is that we're gonna swab your inner mouth, one cheek to the other cheek, okay? And this is done just for comparison purposes.
Something shifts here. Until this point, the DNA lived in the detective's words. A figure read off a page. Now a warrant is served, and a sample is taken from him, in the room, on camera. Listen to how the questioning changes straight afterwards. Less evidence, more invitation. What doesn't change is his answer. The explanation he offered an hour ago is the one he's still offering now, which is that he cannot account for it at all.
You ever heard the saying that the truth will set you free?
Yeah.
Do you feel trapped right now?
No, I'm scared. I don't have a clue what's going on. They told me my DNA is found on her. I did not know her. I didn't have anything to do with her.
Okay. The evidence that they've shown you so far speaks otherwise, though.
Yes.
You see how
Telling
that...
me, yes.
Yes.
Okay, it's running through your mind right now.
Oh, my wife.
How are you gonna make all of this make sense to her?
I'm just gonna tell her what they tell me. I don't know. She won't believe it.
Wouldn't you want her to know the truth?
Yeah, and the truth is, I don't have a clue what's going on.
The detectives explained to you that the shorts that she's wearing right here, right? They have your blood on it.
They told me
Can you make that make sense? Okay. There's a thing about the truth that it usually makes sense.
that. Ma'am?
There's a thing about the truth and it usually makes sense. I'm just trying to understand how all of this led us to you.
Wednesday would be my 73rd birthday.
Oh.
That's when you start to say something.
Yeah, that's okay. I was just gonna say how my sergeant explained to you how demeanor can tell a lot about somebody and whether or not they're telling the truth. It's something that we practice whenever we're studying to be detective and, you know, courses that we take. So, like if somebody were to say that I did something that I definitely did not, there would be like an outrageous reaction. Like, absolutely not, I did not do that. Like, you know, it's something like that.
I've learned to be calm, and I don't know how it's supposed to act. He told me he didn't say anything in the car. When I got in the first car, I asked questions. He said, I can't answer them. Detective will talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't figure it'd be any different. Trust me, I wondered where in the hell I was headed.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw St. Cloud on the side of it, and I'm thinking, why there? I haven't been to St. Cloud in a long time.
Well, now you've gotten those questions answered, right?
Yeah.
But now you're given the opportunity to tell us, what is this all about?
I don't have a clue what it's all about.
Okay. Do you have any kind of memory loss or anything like that right now?
No.
No? No dementia or anything like that? Okay. Because I know this was a long time ago.
My mind's good. I take care of my wife. She's the one she's 75. She has dementia. I take care of her doctors, her pills, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Who's going to take care of her now?
I don't have a clue.
It's been 34 years since this occurred. Right. What have you been doing the last 34 years?
20 of it working for Advent Health.
Okay.
I retired back in December. I really don't know what I've been doing.
Okay.
Working.
What about her?
He showed me these.
I know.
I don't know her. Don't think I've ever met her. I said possibly in an AA or an NA meeting because I was dealing with it back then. Just didn't take it serious.
But imagine all the things that she could have been doing the last 34 years that she didn't get an opportunity to do. Does that weigh heavy on you at all?
Is that what?
Does that weigh heavy on you?
No, because I didn't do this. I don't know how this is. I'm flabbergasted.
I understand that. You said your memory's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Do you recall that day where you were?
I don't know what day it was.
I don't know the exact date. September of 91 at some point.
I can't tell you what I was doing in September of 91 now.
These pictures say a lot, right? You say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
I don't know what you want me to say. I have no answers.
I just want you to tell me the truth.
I have no answers. I don't know anything about this.
Is that the same thing that you're going to tell your wife when you speak to her?
I'm going to tell her what I'm here for and that I don't know.
Okay. So this is some conspiracy theory that we just created out of nowhere?
I don't know what it is. I feel like you're kind of...
Because I know you want to say something. You can't want this to be the end result of all of this. Wouldn't you want the truth to be told?
If I knew what happened, I'd want to tell the truth, yes.
Are you sure I can't offer you anything to eat?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Too upset.
We're going to go ahead and step out then, okay?
So like I said, this is used for comparison purposes. Like she explained to you, with the DNA that was found on scene. This is also, it's kind of part of our investigation. I'm not sure if that's his copy, but
We'll find out. We'll make sure you get a copy of this, okay?
I will also provide you with a copy of a property receipt, and the property receipt will also explain what this is, okay?
And I'm going to jail for a murder that they have my DNA on that happened 33 years ago. They keep questioning me and telling me that I'm not telling them something, and I have nothing to tell them. They're telling me there's no way that the DNA can be on that girl if I didn't do it. And honey, I didn't kill anybody. Yeah, they've been watching me for a while. They keep wanting me to tell them a story. The detectives keep saying, you're not a killer, we know your record, but I can't explain what happened. I've had 1, 2, 3, 2 ladies now, 5 different people in here keep telling me, we know you want to tell us something. I'm like, I don't have anything to tell.
This was supposed to have happened when?
91, I guess. They're telling me there's nothing they can do if I don't tell them my side of the story, and I don't have my side of the story.
Yeah, and that's so far in the past, I can't.
I was honest about my drinking and drug use, and they said, well, maybe you blacked out. I'm like, I would remember that. I was so surprised when we got pulled over, but they were evidently waiting for me. They've been watching me for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a couple of pictures I also want to show you, okay? And just to see if you may recognize them, okay?
Do you have a name to go with that? Are they from Kissimmee?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, all these individuals are from Kissimmee.
Okay.
This guy's name is Thomas Charles Shelton. Does that sound familiar?
No.
Those individuals had some kind of association with her and lived in the same areas as she did and you did as well, okay? And they were speak to originally when this happened about what happened. And your name only came up because we gave you an opportunity to call your wife. I didn't have to do that. I could have made you wait until you got to the jail to do that, but I felt that that's something that I could give you right now, okay?
I appreciate that, thank you.
You know, you said you still have your father, your mother that you need to make arrangements for.
She's gonna take care of that.
Yeah. So
She's gonna get a hold of my sponsor and let him know what's going on.
okay. And I gave you that. Is there anything that you can give us about this?
I don't have anything to give you, sir. The two women that were in here, she's looking at me saying, I know you wanna tell the truth. I don't have any truth to tell.
You understand?
If I could do something to make it look better on me, I would.
I understand that. Like I said before, we're here for just the truth. We're not here to let you say something that's not true. We're here for the truth. Okay? And the issue we have here is your blood. That's going to be a huge issue to explain that. When you don't remember anything, you're not at all. So that's going to be a big problem. And I'm pretty sure you can understand that.
Think about the totality of everything that we've told you, right? What happened to her, how we got to you. What do you think should happen to the person that did this?
Pay for it.
Okay.
What do you mean by pay for it?
Whatever the due process is.
I think you had some involvement in this, okay? I just think you can't say it. I think that you just cannot say it.
Just like we said before. Are you a cold-blooded murderer or a guy that made a mistake? That's what it boils down to.
I can't tell you what I don't know.
We get that. Because that's vicious. I don't wish this on my worst enemy. And I got a couple of them. I wouldn't want to see this happen to anybody. But this poor lady endured this, went through this, and now she's no longer here. Which is unfortunate. Because I believe that God has a place for each and every one of us. But God don't have this. This is not in His. Whenever everybody's born, okay, you're gonna die at 13. You're gonna have heart disease. You're gonna have that. I don't believe He has that in mind for anybody. And I'm pretty sure you can understand that. Do you wear that cross every day? Good for you. came here and took your buccal swab?
Yes, sir.
Gene, we're gonna get some paperwork put together, and that whole process is gonna start moving through, okay? They'll be in here for just a little bit longer, and then we'll come back and then you'll get transported,
All right.
okay?
I think I'd like to pee again.
We can make that work.
Haven't been drinking. I had a sip that I don't know why I got a piece of it.
That's all right.
We'll try and get somebody to be able to help with that, okay? Actually, I don't think the patrol's out there, so.
Yeah, we can take it.
Yeah.
Look, I know they've already asked you every question we could possibly ask you. I know they showed you some photos, trying to jog your memory. This is the whole case file of photos. We're just trying to get you to remember any kind of relationship, whether it be a 5-minute conversation you had with this lady, to a hookup, to you met at a party, hung out at a bar, some sort of explanation of how the two of you got close enough to where your DNA could end up on her.
Like we spoke before, that's a big
I don't
one.
have an explanation. I don't have an explanation.
That's an answer I cannot settle for, though, because.
It's the only one I have, sir.
But you understand,
You think if I didn't have an explanation, I would let you know? This is not looking good for me.
I think you're afraid to let me know the truth. And I think you're afraid to let me know because it would expose you to your wife and your mother and your father. It would expose the person who you were on that night back in 1991. And you don't want them to know that about you. That's what I think. Am I right?
My parents and my wife know I was not an angel before I got to where I don't drink at all anymore.
Okay.
We damn near got divorced over it. But what woke me up was her damn near dying. I was retired. I was home 24/7, 365. She quit drinking on a Sunday, had a hip operation on a Tuesday. Came home Thursday night, damn went into DT's. I drank so much, and I was home 24/7, that I didn't know she drank that much. That's what woke me up.
Well, you weren't home 24/7, okay? Because where would you go and get? You mentioned, unless we're talking about your second wife.
We're talking about my wife now.
Now, is
My
it your
first-
first or second wife?
This is my second wife. My first wife and I lasted a year.
Right.
And I was 20 years old.
So your wife right now knows about your past, your drug
Every bit of it.
your drugs and your alcohol use.
Every bit of it.
Now, she used to be an alcoholic, correct?
You're always an alcoholic. You're just sober.
Oh, okay. But did she use any narcotics?
No.
Okay, just alcohol.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between they know about your drug history, they know about your alcoholism, and they know that you're a killer. There's a big difference there.
Mhm.
And what you're afraid of them finding out is that you're responsible for that. That's why you can't explain to me how your DNA got there. Because the explanation would result in you having to admit to your wife and to your mother and your father that beyond the drug and the alcohol use, that you also killed someone.
And like you said, I don't know how my blood got there. Nobody's gonna believe that. Nobody's gonna believe that. I don't think you're a bad person. That's why we're talking. How there gotta be a reason why your blood and only your blood got on her. There gotta be a reason. And I believe only you know that reason. So, this is not gonna go away. It's not. Right? Because
You're worried about them finding out. But that's not what you need to be worried about. They're gonna find out.
I've already told my wife, and she's telling my parents, if she hasn't told them already, why I'm here.
Right.
But your wife hasn't seen these pictures. She doesn't know. You told her that, well, I'm surmising, I'm in here for murder.
I'm in here because my DNA was on a woman that was
Right.
murdered 33 years ago.
Right. But she doesn't know about these pictures. She hasn't seen how horrific these pictures are. And she's gonna see them.
Everything is gonna come out in trial.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Yep. 'Cause they're gonna play all these pictures. They're gonna show all these pictures. So if she comes to the trial, she's gonna see them.
And they probably won't have to wait that long because at 4 p.m. today, there's going to be a press release. And the news is probably going to pick up on the story, and then at 5 p.m. it's going to be all over. And there's going to be two options. We tell them the story that we have, which is that someone was brutally murdered and dumped in our city 33 years ago, and we caught the person who did it. Or there's more to the story.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be more to the story, because I didn't fucking do this.
Then who did?
I don't know.
Who did, and how did your DNA get on her?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I've sit here nicely, I've talked. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know.
And why don't you know it? Was it because you were...
Because I didn't fucking do it.
Then how did your blood
I
get over
don't
here?
know.
That's her shorts. Your blood is on the shorts. There gotta be a reason why your blood, and only your blood, is on her shorts. Nobody else's. And your blood, and what's even worse, your blood is in with her blood. So that's why when I spoke to you earlier, this is why I know there is some kind of close contact. It has to be. Because I'm pretty sure you're not going to cut yourself and all of a sudden throw your blood and it gets on her pants. It doesn't work that way.
Especially when you say you've never seen her before.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to make it make sense. That's it.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
So I can't make it
So
make sense. to you.
if it doesn't make sense to you, then you can understand why it doesn't make sense to us. Now, going back to 1991, were you ever contacted by the police about a case like this, about this case?
No.
Did you recognize any of the photos that they showed you earlier? You didn't know any of those men?
No, sir.
You've never heard their names?
I said one looked like he might have looked familiar. I didn't recognize the name. That was, I think, Brian. So, no, I did not know those people.
During that time period, you said you hung out with your stepbrother, was it? And your cousin?
No, that was when I first moved down here in 83 or 85. At that time, I lived in, I think it's Fountainhead Apartments
In 91.
in 91. I'm supposing I lived in Kissimmee for a while. I lived some apartments. I lived in Kissimmee. I was buying a place in a trailer park. And I moved to Orlando, and I lived in Chateau Orleans and Glen something.
So you don't remember specifically where you lived in the later half of 1990?
Basically, no.
How about who you hung out with? Closest friends?
Bennett Butkus, who now lives in Kissimmee, or in Kentucky. He was a roommate of mine. Dell, I can't even think of his last name. He's not in this state anymore, because we went to the meetings together, because I was sober off and on. It wasn't until a few years ago, 4 years ago, this next month, that I started working the program, working the steps, got a sponsor. I actually got sober.
How about when you were doing cocaine? Who'd you hang out with?
My brother and Rick McAleese. We were all roommates when I first come down here. Other than that, if I did it, I did it by myself.
Are they still around?
Who?
Those two people.
Rick McAleese and my brother?
Mm-hmm.
Rick McAleese is dead. My brother's still here. He lives in Winter Park.
Did they ever bring women around?
No.
They didn't have a girlfriend?
They might have had a girlfriend. I didn't. As far as I know, Rick McAleese dated several. We lived over by SeaWorld when I first moved down here.
Did they ever bring girls over? I know you saying you didn't have a girlfriend. Did they ever bring girls over?
They probably brought their girlfriend.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
But you don't recognize this lady as maybe being one of the girls they brought over.
Oh, no. Christ, we lived in Orlando. You're telling me she's from here?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been robbed? Or had your drugs stolen from you?
No.
Their money stolen when you were trying to buy?
Yes.
Where'd that happen?
McLaren Circle.
Do you remember who you were buying from?
Some black guy.
How was he the one that stole your cash? The guy you were buying from?
Yeah. He reached in the car and took it.
Do you remember?
Into your car and took it, or they?
My car, yeah.
Okay.
You remember about what year that was?
I don't have a clue. I'm going to say 89, 90, because I believe I started at Disney in their laundry at 89.
You say you only bought in the circle one time.
Yes, sir.
How about in Kissimmee in general? Just the one time.
And you got
Yeah,
popped.
got the shit scared out of me and got popped, yeah.
Why did you choose Kissimmee, the circle? Sorry.
Because it was well known that was a drug hangout.
And that time you lived where, in Kissimmee or Orlando?
Kissimmee.
You ever frequent any of the motels over there?
No.
Never?
No, I had my own apartment.
How about when you'd hook up with girls? You bring them back to your place, you go to theirs?
To my place. I wasn't real active.
But you did bring girls back to your place. Maybe one, two.
Somebody from the A meeting or something that I hooked up with.
Got you.
And you're saying that if you did know her, it would have been from one of the AA meetings?
AA or NA, yeah.
So is it possible then that You met her at one of these meetings, and
I don't think so, because she doesn't look familiar. And I can remember what certain girls look like that was there if they were eye-catching.
Yeah, she looks eye-catching.
So I say I probably would have remembered her if I'd have been with her.
what if she wasn't so eye-catching at the time?
What about
You know, what if she was drugged out?
Mhm.
Rough.
I haven't seen people come into the AA and NA meetings that are, most of them when they get in there has been to treatment or something, and they got some kind of presence about them. You don't see too many just drunks come in off the street into an AA meeting. And I haven't been to an NA meeting in 15, 20 years.
Going back to when you were buying drugs and you got robbed, did he fight you at all the time?
Took my money and took off and tried to get my car keys, and I was glad I kept a hold of them and I got the hell out.
Was it physical?
Huh?
Did you get roughed up at all? Physical?
He reached through the window, grabbed my money, tried to grab my keys. I stopped him from getting my keys. When he left, I started the car, I rolled the window up, and I got the hell out of McLaren Circle.
So you didn't get hurt?
I did not get hurt. Got shit scared out of me because Osceola County Sheriff pulled me over, searched my car,
What they find?
nothing. For
But they never found anything on you.
No.
You never told anybody?
no.
So you really don't have any enemies then?
Not that I know of.
No reason for anyone to set you up for a murder you didn't commit?
No.
You don't remember ever getting into a fight with anybody where it got physical and you got hurt? So no way somebody would have gotten your DNA to plant if they wanted to.
It's on her.
You see where I'm going with this? It just keeps pointing back to...
You're going in fucking circles, and I
No,
don't
I'm-
have an answer for
I'm
you.
trying to come up with any plausible explanation for how your blood ended up on a person that you've never seen before.
And I keep telling you, I don't know.
I get that, but I've just ruled out every plausible explanation I can think of.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and tell you something that I know's bald-faced wrong.
No, don't do that.
I don't know of anybody that would want to set me up.
So we're back to why is your blood on her shorts? And that's where the big problem lies. She never tried robbing you, so you're defending yourself, and that's how you got hurt. And whatever happened, happened. You never seen her before, had no contact with her. So there gotta be a reason. The blood doesn't just show up like that. It has to be a reason why it's there.
I don't know the reason.
I know.
I don't have an answer. You can turn it all different ways. Keep asking me 30, 40 times. I don't have an answer.
I know that.
Okay.
But do you understand the issue that you're in?
Yeah, I'm being charged with a murder that I don't know anything about.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you're fully aware of what is being presented here. We presented our report to a judge who signed that there's probable cause for your arrest based on all the evidence, right?
Yes.
Your DNA on the victim of a murder.
Yes.
That's eventually going to go in front of a jury and a judge. And it's still going to be that same story. Only now, there's also you saying you have no plausible explanation for how How do you think that's going to play out in front of a jury?
I don't know, but I don't have a story or a plausible way to tell you what happened, how it got there.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed.
You what?
A little disappointed. And it's not because you're sitting here telling me you don't know or can't give me a reasonable explanation. But like you said earlier, we've been watching you a long time. A long time. And in that time, I had several conversations with other detectives, and I said, this guy doesn't strike me as a cold-blooded killer. There's gotta be an explanation. I was so looking forward to this day that we finally get to bring you in and I get to hear your side of the story. And that's what I'm disappointed in, that you have no side of the story.
Right.
And now I'm left to deal with the evidence we have, which is you're just a cold-blooded killer. The end. Not the ending I was looking for.
Gene Stuller was arrested on April 21st, 2025. St. Cloud police charged him with second-degree murder and disturbing a dead body or clothing. The arrest came more than 3 decades after Julia Sue Wilbanks was killed. As of this production, a later plea, trial, verdict, or sentence has not been independently verified. Stuller therefore remains accused of the crimes, and the charges against him should not be confused with a conviction. Julia Sue Wilbanks was 27 years old and the mother of a young son. She was born in March of 1964 and was living in the Kissimmee area at the time of her death. She was later laid to rest at Sunset Memorial Park in Phillips County, Arkansas. More than 3 decades later, advances in forensic science have brought renewed attention to the case that carried her name. But beyond the evidence, dates, and investigation was a mother whose son grew up without her. As this case moves forward, Julia Sue Wilbanks should remain at the center of the story. Cases like this one show how far DNA testing has come and how evidence kept safe for decades can still give answers years later. What do you make of those advances? And if there's an unsolved case you believe deserves another look, tell us about it in the comments. Before you go, please leave a kind word or say a prayer for Julia Sue Wilbanks' family and for everyone who waited decades for an answer.